this is a city that is filled with history, from the Spanish Empire to the Incan Empire to the current Peruvian government. This is now one of the most beautiful cities in the world, filled with cathedrals, filled with ancient Incan markets, and filled with some of the friendliest people. This city right behind me is the beautiful city of Cusco, Peru. Today we are doing a full tour of Cusco. We are going to be visiting everything there is to see within 24 hours here in the beautiful city of Cusco. Now, we've started the morning and sunrise here at one of the most beautiful viewpoints, I say, in all of Cusco. This right here is the Mirador de San Cristobal, and as you can see, there's a church actually right behind me, as you can see over there. But through the drone shots, I think you can see this is a beautiful place to start off the morning. The sun just slowly rises behind the mountains, and this might just be the best spot to see and catch the sunrise here in Cusco. Now, I have to say, one of the things that I'm definitely realizing about Cusco is that it is a cold city. I packed for tropical weather. I thought we were gonna be, you know, in the beautiful, warm Andes. They're not. They're very, very cold. So, word of advice, when you come to Cusco, make sure you bring more than just a jacket. I mean, I'm in a sweater and I am literally shivering. It gets down to 0 degrees here at night, year-round, because we are at a very, very, very high elevation. So do keep that in mind. You'll see most locals here are actually wearing like big vests and sweaters and stuff. So don't freeze to death like me. Make sure you get dressed properly for this trip. And let's go see if we can actually buy some clothes. Welcome to the beautiful market here in central Cusco of San Pedro. This is the market that people come to every day early in the morning to get fruits, vegetables, fishes, meats, and whatever they may need here to survive in Cusco. Now, I have to say, this is a massive market. It is incredibly large. There's so many options. There's a whole food section near the back of the market. But even here, I love how organized it is. Every section has its sign. So if you see behind me, there's literally a line, a row of juice vendors, and all they sell is juice, which makes it very organized, because if you want juice, you know to go there. They've also got places that sell meat, they have places that sell fish, they have places that sell vegetables. They've got anything that you want. Interestingly enough, they also have a lot of Peruvian Incan medicines, these traditional herbal Andean treatments that will help you. They say they'll cure like inflammation, it'll cure insomnia. That's what they claim. I don't know what they're actually going to do to you. In this market, you can literally find everything. They've got chocolate, they've got fruits, they've got some of the freshest ingredients you're going to find in all of Peru. And although it may be located in the central part of the city, that doesn't mean that it's not local. In fact, most of the people shopping around here in the morning are all locals. The great part is that they open at 6 in the morning, so if you're looking for an early breakfast, you don't have to worry about the other restaurants not opening. Here in the market, things will definitely be open, and funnily enough, we're currently in the aisle of bread. This is where they sell every type of bread imaginable. This is what I love about Latin American markets, and I have to say, here in Cusco, they've done it incredibly well. They've made sure everything is clear. I mean, look at this. Who makes an entire aisle for salt? That right there is the salt aisle. This place is incredible. There's no other way to sum them up. Now, there are other markets in Cusco, but this is the one you've got to visit when you visit the city. Welcome to the heart of the Incan Empire, the heart of Cusco. Here we are at the Plaza de Armas, or the Plaza Central of Cusco, depending on which map you're looking at and who you ask. Now in the center is this statue here. This is a very important guy. His name is Pachacute, and he was basically one of the ancient Incan kings. Now the history of this place, it actually served once as the religious, political, and social center of the Incan Empire. But when the Spanish took over, they turned it into the plaza that we see here today. Now there are some incredible churches around this. So over there you've got the actual main cathedral of Cusco, and then behind me you've got the 𝐒𝐔𝐁𝐒𝐑𝐈𝐏𝐍𝐿. This place is massive, and like I said, it's the Spanish who came over, took over the place after they defeated the Incas, and turned this into this massive big plaza. Now there is quite a dark history, but nowadays today the plaza is a place full of dance, full of music, and you can see right behind me they're doing some festival. I don't know what it is, but let's go see what they're doing. I have no clue what this festival is, but Cusco always has festivals going on, so let's go see what's up. Well, of course, it's always cool to see a local cultural celebration here in Cusco. I'm here in June, and usually the good thing is during June they have a lot of these festivals going on in Cusco. They've got a lot of parades, a lot of festivals. So June is definitely a good time to come to Cusco because they've got parades just like that. They literally just left the main cathedral of Cusco and they went around the Plaza de Armas. And I don't know where they're going, but they're going somewhere else through the town of Cusco. So let's walk around the city. Let's see what else there is to do, because there is a lot to do here in Cusco. And we'll come back later in the day, back to the Plaza de Armas. Now, when you're here in Cusco, when you walk down the little narrow alleyways, you're gonna find a lot of big rocks, like the ones right behind me. And these are these old Incan rocks that have been around for literally centuries, but there is one famous one. It's famous because it's got 12 edges, and I thought it would literally be like 12 surfaces, but it literally just means that there are 12 sides to the rock. It's interesting, it's cool, but I don't really have much more to say about that, about 12 edges. So we're going to go ahead and leave that. It's quite a tourist attraction. There's quite a few people who want to take photos here. It's quite a little bit of a touristy photo spot, just to take a picture with a stone with 12 edges, but nonetheless, something cool to see here in Cusco. This is a very long and important street right here. This is Calle Loreto, and if you look around me, you'll see there's a lot of big rocks. Like I mentioned, this is the classic Incan sort of architecture, and this road stretches all the way down into the center of the city, all the way to the Plaza de Armas, which is right over there. But this is as it was, I know, hundreds and hundreds of years ago. This is how the Incans built their cities. They would have these big rocks shipped in from the mountains of the Andes, and they would build their buildings just like this. It's extremely well preserved, and some have even said that it is one of the most beautiful streets in Cusco. In my opinion, it's amazing. I love how well preserved it is. I mean, these are the same rocks. These are the rocks that they were used by the Incans, an ancient civilization. But it's incredible that they've preserved this. And even though the Spanish may have built the Plaza de Armas down here, we see this entire street here, the cobblestone street and the big rocks on the side of the street that make up the walls. They still are there, preserved as it was back in the days of the Incan Empire. If you remember carefully, at the center of the Plaza de Armas, there was a statue of an Incan king, an Incan rey, called Pachacuti. Well, I am currently standing on the ruins of his palace. Located here in Cusco is the ancient palace of all the Incan rulers, and to be honest, there's not much left of it. I mean, it's honestly, if you look at it, it's just a bunch of ruins left over from centuries and centuries ago. But what you do see are the foundations of the palace. And once again, you see that classic Incan architectural style. What do I mean by that? I mean by these big rocks that they've shipped in from the Andes that serve as the basis of the walls of the construction of the ruins. Now look at this here, right? This looks just like the street that we were on earlier. And this is actually just at the end of Calle Loreto, you get to these ruins here. The best part about these ruins is that they are absolutely free. So you can just come in here, take a look at where the ancient Incan kings used to live and feel like you're yourself a king, even though you're really only walking on top of the ruins nowadays. But nonetheless, it's great that they've managed to preserve just the foundations. It still gives you a sense of what life was like here. You can even see like a lot of the old areas where people would cook, would clean, would sleep. This is where the palace was, and it actually occupies a pretty large area. The fact that they preserved that is impressive, and you can absolutely visit it when you're here in Cusco. Even though this is open to visitors, this is still an active archaeological site. They're still doing digging, they're still discovering new things, and they're still learning more about the Incan kings and the Incan palace. So you see actually on the side, it looks like there's very fresh digging that's recently been done. And that's because they're still trying to learn more about this place. They're still trying to excavate, and they're finding new artifacts as they continue to dig. So maybe in 5-10 years, there might be new artifacts and we might know more about the Incan kings than we do today. But the cool thing is we're allowed to just walk over here as tourists over an active archaeological site and see what this entire place looks like. And that's pretty cool. They've actually got a shed there, and they've got a library for you to study more about Incan archaeology, but nonetheless, incredible that we're just allowed to stroll in and take a look around. We are now inside of 𝐒𝐒𝐿𝐵, which is one of the most important Incan temples. It was taken over by the Spanish when they took over, and actually Pizarro, the Spanish conqueror, gave it to the Dominicans to start their first religious order here in Cusco. Where I am currently is the old part of the temple. You can see each room has an importance to the Incan culture, to the Incan history, and technically, I'm not supposed to be filming inside. I'll tell you guys more when we leave. Now we've just left 𝐒𝐒𝐿𝐵, and that's the building, as you can see right behind me. And as I said, this used to be a great Incan temple that was taken over, and basically the Spaniards built a church on top of it. And to be honest, it's quite sad that all that's left today is the big stone blocks from the temple. All the gold, all the artifacts that were once a symbol of the wealth of the Incan Empire are no longer there. Instead, you have a church. You literally have a church, and you have a monastery that's there instead. So it is quite sad to see that, but I have to say it is beautiful on the inside. The history is dark, the history is sad, but definitely worth a visit. You do have to pay an entrance fee, but it's not too much. So definitely I would say worth coming down here. It's a little bit south of the main central area, but definitely worth coming to check it out. Now, just west of the main plaza area, if you keep walking a few blocks, you actually hit another plaza, which is Plaza San Francisco. That's the one right behind me. But something that's worth noting is this arch right here, right behind me. That is the Arco de Santa Clara. Now, why is this such an important arch? Well, this arch was actually built to commemorate the unity of Peru and Bolivia. And it's said to be one of the most beautiful arches in all of Cusco. Now, looking at it, it is quite nice. I like how there's like a statue at the very top of it that sort of is like opening his arms, welcoming unity. I guess that's what it means. But nonetheless, it's still a nice arch just to walk under. And that sort of leads you into the main central area of Cusco. So when you see that arch, you know, you're in the main area of Cusco. You're near the downtown where all the tourist attractions are, where all the cathedrals are. So when you go through that arch, that is like a symbol that you've entered the city of Cusco. Well, a few blocks in and we are back at the Plaza de Armas, the Plaza Central here in Cusco. I know the sun hasn't set yet, but it's gonna set really soon. It's already 4 p.m. and here in Cusco, the sun sets at 5. It's actually really early for the sun to set, which means that we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up here already. It's been an amazing day here in Cusco, and there's so much to do. And you know, even though this video is coming to an end, that doesn't mean that there's everything. Yeah, I've done everything in Cusco. There's so much more. A lot of it's a lot more churches, a lot more temples. There are ruins outside of Cusco to explore. There are aqueducts. There are old temples to explore, and we haven't explored that yet. That's going to be coming in another video later. So make sure, if you want to see more of that, stay tuned, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe so that you know when the next videos come up. But regardless, that's gonna be it here from the beautiful city of Cusco, Peru. It's been an amazing day, from the viewpoint in the morning, to the markets, to the churches, to the temples, and then especially to the Incan ruins that were taken over by the Spanish and how they rebuilt that. That has been really, really impressive to me. The streets are beautiful. They're very, very nice and narrow and Incan in their own tradition. But regardless, it's a beautiful city that has a mix of Spanish and Incan influences, which is why I highly recommend you visit Cusco when you get the chance to. But that's going to be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you guys on the next one here from Peru. Bye guys.